Details following a deadly shooting on South Bend's east side last week. Police say 28-year-old Curtis Shelby was killed after multiple shots were fired near 33rd and Marshall Avenue on June 6th. Today, community advocates went door to door, imploring neighbors to stand together to stop the violence.
Well, I think, once the word needs to it needs to get out, period. And if you're just going to sit behind your closed doors and not try and be, proactive about scenarios like this, nothing's going to change.
Shelby says they're hoping to discourage future gun violence by raising awareness and sharing any information that could help police.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus. Let's talk about celebrities. Let's talk about caring events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on PGT Time. PGT Time. Tune in on PGT Time. PGT Time. Come join us on PGT Time. PGT Time.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
You live with the energy guy and main event. Man, we had Hits 92.3 at PGT Time. Chilling with the missus. Do yours by yourself.
I'm here. It's your girl, the missus with the kisses. Mwah. And who gonna clean it up? Me. That's who gonna clean it up, me. I'm cleaning it up tonight. I sure am. Gonna clean it up tonight. And I gotta clean it up solo because Jason ain't here. Jason, if you watching, hey, boo. Jason ain't here, y'all. He couldn't be here. But he did send his regards to everybody watching. He sent his regards. So everybody, make sure y'all whisper one for Jason. Okay? All right. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We have a show tonight. Okay? We have a show tonight. This stuff is happening currently at this time. So y'all buckle up, get your snacks, get your drink, whatever you do, get it. And we're going to get started. This one right here is for Curtis. This is for Curtis Shelby. All right? So let's get started. We're going to start right now with our crime time and also our fair usage. Okay? We're going to get that out the way. And then we're going to go ahead and bring up our family. Okay? Here we go.
Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
All right. And we are back. We are back in the building, you all. Again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. It is Peachy News. Like I said, Jason is not here today, but you do see Jason back there in the corner. Hey, Jason. Hey, what it do? Big old smile. But again, we are here to bring awareness. I am not here to judge. What I am here for is to bring family members on the platform to tell their loved one's story. We also have a special guest just as well, who I am so honored to have tonight, and that is Mr. Paul. Okay, now I have a hard time pronouncing his last name, so I'm gonna leave it at Mr. Paul. But I think it's Mr. Paul Steery. Steery. But if I'm saying it wrong, he gonna let us know, baby. He gonna let us know. So I thank him in advance so much for taking the time out. He is running to be a congressman. So he's a candidate right now, and we're gonna get into some things with him just as well. But first and foremost, I got to bring up my peoples. My peoples. Y'all already know Justice for Michiana. You know, they help make sure that this happen each and every Wednesday, okay? So we gotta bring them up. Let's start with the vice president, baby. Girl power, black magic. Oh, Miss Yumika. Hey, Yumika girl. Hey, Yumika, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. Thank you again so much for bringing the family of Curtis Shelby to my platform. I really appreciate it. All we're doing basically is just bringing awareness. Hopefully, we can find some justice at the same time. If everybody could go and that right there. Share
Share.
and like this video. That is so important because the people that's not on the live, they will be able to see as they're scrolling. They look and see, oh, these got a lot of views on here. Let's go ahead and click on this to see what they're talking about. So this is why we do what we do, so that we can bring awareness to everybody that's out there in all
Yes.
communities. Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about this family, Yumika, that you're bringing this week.
I met this family, unfortunately, through a tragedy of Danielle losing her son. His name is Curtis. It happened on June 6th of this year. I met them, wonderful people, wonderful people. And mom is absolutely standing with me on something has to change. So we went out and we talk to neighbors, talk to people in the community, and we spread the word of, we have to stop the violence. So we have this slogan that we use now: know something, say something. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that really believe in the old code. Oh, that's snitching. There's no
Hmm.
such thing. When something happens to someone's family, we just can't sit back and watch this happen if we know something. Bring closure. They've already lost a loved one. So the most we can do is give them closure, give them some peace.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it would be beautiful if we could stop the violence, but if we can't, we can at least stop criminals from walking the street afterwards.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah,
that's one of the things that I would love to ask Paul about just as well, because I feel like they need to get rid of the whole bond thing. You know, no, if you get in trouble,
absolutely.
you stay your ass in there. Explicit language, and
That
everything is
part.
allegedly. But yes, but leave them in there. Don't let them back out. Because a lot of these people that's out here doing things, Jamaica, they have already been bonded out. They are on bail for like the most heinous crimes, and they let them right back out, and they
To
go out
do
and do
another
the
crime.
same thing, another.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, like Yamika said, if you know something, say something. Y'all know that's something that I always preach just as well. So, the next person that we're going to go ahead and just bring on up is Mr. Bernardo. Hey, Bernardo.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Um, Tell us a little bit about the family that you know about.
Well, this is Yumika case,
Hmm.
so I think she said everything. Um, we met the family at their darkest hours, and mom just been. I remember her first interview that she probably ever done, along with Yumika. I put them on the news 16 and ABC 57, so both of them was up there nervous, but they pulled through.
They
So,
pulled through.
mom and losing a son, I never been through, but I've been, at the table. with other mothers. And she's a strong mother, and
Absolutely.
she definitely
Definitely.
wants justice for her son. And no life should be taken for no reason.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. Now, next we have coming up is, let's go ahead and bring Paul up. Let's go ahead and bring Paul up. Hello, Paul. Paul,
You see
thank
that
you
shirt?
so much.
Do you read that shirt?
End gun violence. All
I
right.
love it,
Now,
Paul. I love it.
I'm telling you now, Paul. I am actually in the process. I've announced it to everyone already. I'm actually in the process of getting ready to launch my next t-shirt brand, because I do have a t-shirt line, and my next t-shirt brand is going to be centered around my peachy news. So it is definitely about crime. So I'm so honored to see you with your shirt on today.
Let me tell you how I met Paul. My ex vice president, Aisha, she was having an event, and I see these people talking to her, and I'm like her brother, so all eyes over there. But he was with Ryan and his team, and we just started talking. And he told me he was running for office, and the people in office here just don't do what they should do. So I say, what's your thought about gun violence? And he told me, and I said, will you come on with a family that just lost a loved one? And he didn't say, oh, let me think. He was like, yes, right into it. And here he is today.
Wow. Thank you so much, Paul. We really appreciate it. Please let everyone know that's watching a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to Peachy Tea Time. Oh, hold on, Paul.
Unmute your mic.
Okay. Now.
Well, I'm running for Congress against Jackie Walorski. And the main reason why I was just upset with her, because she's not me, and she's not representing us. And for me, a person who runs for Congress needs to be representative for all people, and not just those with money. And I want to represent everyone, which includes you too, Peachy Tea, and you, Fernando. I mean, I want to be able to be there for anybody and everybody, to hear what they have to say and listen, and then take what I hear to Congress to make bills that would help make people safe. Exactly. And actually, I'm not sure if you know that there is a gun law that was just passed because of the whole incident in Texas. But our representative voted against it. And so that's, for me, I really want us to think about how to provide as much safety for everyone. So I work at a place called the Elkhart Academy in Elkhart, Indiana. And the Elkhart Academy is working with at-risk youth. And these are the kids who get kicked out of school. And they're the ones with ankle bracelets. Or this past year, 5 of my students are incarcerated, and 2 of them got shot, or at least drive-by shootings. And one actually died from fentanyl overdose. And so, but they brought him back to life with a Narcan shot. But it's just, my job is to represent them as well, not just people with the suits. And that's what I told my students. I said, here, I'm for you. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. And that's what Congress needs to be, is to represent everyone, to help them feel secure and help them feel like they're part of a community that loves them. And so, and how do I do that? I'm going to be listening to you guys. I want to hear what you have to say and help me make some ideas to potentially, with you, I can make some bills to help us feel safer in our communities.
Okay. Now, once we tell you the things that we need and what we want and need, you take it back to who, and take it to who do you take it to?
Well, once I win,
Once you win.
I will take it to my staff, and my staff will create a bill, which then will have to go to the entire House of Representatives. And once it goes past the House of Representatives, then it'll go to the Senate. And then if the Senate agrees with it, then both parties will agree to send it then on to the president. And the president will sign. And so I would love to work with you, Peachy T, and you, Fernando, because come up with some deals. Well, because you're right. No one should die from gun violence in our towns.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And let's also add the prison system too. They shouldn't go to prison or go to jail and die in there. Yeah, we got to talk. We got to talk.
I'm a firm believer in legalization of marijuana too, and then we can then also then take away a lot of the prison sentences once it is legalized, because there's a lot of people in prison for no real good reasons.
Exactly.
We need to talk about that. We need to accept what's real.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would love for you to come back on PGT Time, where we could do a full show with you in the future. I would be totally honored. I really would.
Well, I'd be with you.
Definitely. But we are here for Curtis Shelby. Curtis Shelby's mother, Danielle. We have his son's mother here, Destiny. This is what we're here for. We want you to listen to us just as well, Paul, and just take what we're saying into consideration on taking it on back to the president when you win. When you win, because we know you're going to win. Okay? All right. So next we're going to bring up Miss Destiny Norris. Hey, Destiny. Destiny, you look so pretty, girl.
That's cool, right? He took the words
Yes. Destiny, tell your friends they're going to have to quiet down just a little bit. They got to quiet down just a little bit.
No, these are strangers.
If they're strangers, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing to strangers. Don't say a word. Just walk away. Okay? Because if you watch Peachy Tea Time, folks crazy out there. But that's why we got Paul. So Paul can understand that these folks is crazy out here in these streets. Gotta get them up off of there. All right. But Destiny, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you being here. Now, please tell everybody what brings you to Peachy Tea Time.
Well, Curtis Shelby is the father of my son. And I hate that this is a very unfortunate event. But I just would definitely want to spread awareness, and hopefully somebody after seeing this would come forward, or hopefully it'll make people think twice before they do anything.
Exactly.
That's exactly why I'm here. And these innocent babies, their fathers are being taken away from them. So.
Yeah. And these babies are being taken away.
And that is true. Mm-hmm.
It's so many stories that I cover and also my fellow mentor, my YouTube mentor, he covers babies and little kids all day long on his shows, which is AFC Podcast, here on YouTube. I cover everybody. Mm-hmm. That's who I cover, everybody. And I try to stick with the people in our Black community, but sometimes you do have to open yourself up just as well to others.
Right.
So I just want people to understand that you have some women out here that gets boyfriends, and their boyfriends end up killing their kids.
Yeah.
I play so many of those clips, so we have to bring the awareness. We have to. That's the only way that I think that some of this violence can just cease. So we're going to bring up our last guest for the night, which is the mother of Curtis Shelby, the beautiful, beautiful Miss Danielle, that is. Hey, Miss Danielle.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. And Destiny, I didn't do a hand clap for you. That's for Destiny.
That's me.
That's for Destiny. Now, thank you so much, Miss Danielle, for showing up on PGT Time today. Thank you for trusting me with your son's story just as well.
Thank you for
And
having me.
you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And the main thing I want to say to you is my condolences. My
Thank you.
condolences.
Yeah.
I know this is not easy. I know it's not easy. And then especially be here in front of strangers, people that you don't know, reliving everything. So I tip my head to you, and I thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
And when you
No
said
problem.
Peachy, I said that she's a strong mother.
Definitely.
Tomorrow we doing a vigil for her son, and less than 24 hours we would be doing his homegoing service. So this case here is like a fresh case.
Very
We
fresh.
haven't laid him to rest, but she here to make awareness, and hopefully another mother won't be sitting in her shoes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Now, Miss Danielle,
Yes.
please tell us a little bit about Curtis.
Curtis was he was a very smart young man. He was a hard worker. He loved his kids. It's kind of crazy because he like had split personalities. When he was out with his friends, he would be one type of way, but when he was with his kids, he was, a totally different individual. And he was a very unique individual. He had his ups and downs. He had some problems with drug usage, and I'd like to talk about a little bit of that here. But other than that, he was just a typical 28-year-old. He wasn't totally out running the streets. He had the same circle of friends that he always has hung out with. And it's just unfortunate that this event happened. It's really unfortunate.
I must say this. I appreciate your honesty.
I took words out my mouth.
I appreciate that. We don't get that too much. Where, I sit up here and I ask guests, each and every one of them, what was your child like?
Yeah.
Was your child in the streets? Was your child not in the streets? Was your child just this good child? But no one really comes on and say what you just said.
Why, thank you.
So I appreciate the honesty. I really, really do. Because that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
And to me, that's what a lot of, there's so many aspects that are dysfunctional as far as, what's going on in the world. We can blame rap music. We can blame how every person, all these teenagers are showing up with guns and just, kids having kids. And, it's just, you can't really pinpoint. All of them are an accumulative, problem to this issue, and it seems like, people have, their ideas on how they can address and fix this problem. Well, then, you may touch on that problem, but then you've got to address all these other issues, it's way and beyond above, the normal person that's not been exposed to any of this is realm. And if you've not seen it, been around it, dealt with it, they have no idea.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
Exactly. So what we're going to do right now, we are going to get into a clip.
Okay.
Some of these clips I'm sure you've seen. We just have a couple of them.
Okay.
And then we will have a tribute for you just as well. Okay.
Okay. All
So
right.
let's get started, y'all. Here we go.
Developing now, police have named the victim in last night's deadly shooting on South Bend's east side. It happened just before 10 near 33rd Street and Marshall Avenue. And that's where we find our own Ibrahim Samra, who has reaction from neighbors. But first, Ibrahim, what's the latest on the investigation?
Well, Lauren, police say 28-year-old Curtis Shelby of South Bend was killed after multiple shots were fired here outside the Prosper Apartments neighborhood. Now, behind me is where police say it all started, but of course, they're still trying to piece together how this all happened. Now, earlier today, detectives revisiting the scene to try and collect any evidence the heavy rain may have washed away last night. As for residents here in this neighborhood, they tell me they heard people arguing outside before having to duck inside their homes from the sound of gunfire today. Those same neighbors walking us through a night they never saw coming.
I was about to play video games in my room and I heard
arguments. They were arguing very loud. And that's where it started.
there were people running around, kind of frantic.
Heard the 3 gunshots. I seen a lot of panic.
Cops, ambulance, fire trucks, all pulling up.
My daughter knocked the kids out of the windows, out of the way. Because, of course, when they hear loud noises, they're going to look out the windows.
We walk outside and I look over to my left and I could see someone lying there, no movement.
And the next thing we knew, we heard that somebody had died.
I keep looking over there because it's... Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Just thinking about it.
I'm just like at a loss for words. I never would thought that it would come or even happen in my neighborhood. You know, it did.
Like, I'm sure whatever happened or whatever was going on did not need to end in this way whatsoever.
And I'm just scared. I'm scared for my kids.
Now, an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. As for the investigation, police are still searching for a suspect, but as we have come to report one too many times before, community again searching for answers after yet another shooting. Lauren, we send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, and powerful reaction from those neighbors. Ibrahim, thank you. Breaking news right now.
I'm scared, Paul. I'm scared. I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? And I think all of us is up here.
I am too.
Now, Danielle, I just wanted to make sure Paul heard me, Danielle.
Yeah.
Danielle, now tell us, please tell us, what happened on that day? Was this your house?
No, actually, that was about 3 blocks up from my house. 4 blocks, yes.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
So what happened that day?
Well, to be honest with you, I believe he was trying to sell some shoes, gym shoes, or some clothes on, Marketplace or wherever. And I think that he scheduled to meet up with these guys, and they basically robbed him and whatever. That's kind of my gist of it. I mean, I've handed the detective, camera footage of 3 guys walking down right in front of my house, followed by a slow car. And then they turned the corner onto the street where Curtis was shot. And another car meets up behind the other car. And you see them walk down the road to where the incident happened. And, we've hacked into Curtis's phone, got him communicating with the person that he was supposed to meet up with. And I have given all this information to the detective, and I called him again today and I asked him, of course, I never get any calls from him. I'm always the one that has to reach out, which I think is pathetic. And I hear the same thing. Oh yeah, well, we got some things that we're still looking into. And, don't snowball me. Just, if people would just keep things real and, it's just, as a parent, you're already frustrated and dealing with all kinds of other different issues. And then just to have, the people, I'm sure they're short staffed and they're this and they're that. And I get that to a certain extent. But, tell me something,
I will say this. Danielle.
Yep.
And Paul, I hope you hear me when I say this. I don't too much care for the police. Okay, I don't think it's not too many black people that care for the police. We all know that.
Right.
But I will say this: the police cannot tell you everything.
Well,
what
yes.
they're working on. Look at you right now. We're here on PGT time.
Yep.
They can't tell you everything. They can make you mad, and you just tell everything here on PGT time, and
Right.
it could spoil the whole case.
And I get that. I understand that.
But,
I understand that.
But like you said, they can tell you something to keep you from thinking they're not doing anything.
Well, even just to call and touch base, just saying, hey, I haven't, forgotten. We're still, just that. I don't need to know any details or what they're working on or any of that stuff. But just, kind of build a rapport to know that Curtis just isn't, gone and forgotten and brushed under the rug like so many others. And,
Exactly. And I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Yumika, tell us, why do you feel like they do this?
I just want to add, Danielle, I'll answer your question, but I want to address all the viewers when I say this. The major reason why this is a huge issue for me, I have been on 4 homicides since Curtis.
Yes.
And each and every time Mishawaka and South Bend have to respond to a homicide, it put the one a week ago back. Like the priority is that current one. So I am addressing the community. Please stop. These parents cannot get closure if you're doing this every day.
Right.
This woman is grieving, and there's 4 cases that's been piled on top of hers in just less than 3 weeks.
Exactly.
We have to stop.
Yep.
And those other cases, those parents are grieving just as well.
Exactly.
And if we don't have enough police officers and detectives and all of that, then how are they going to continuously cover and try to bring justice?
It's just like a revolving door, I
still feel like they get paid for this. This their job. It's just a little bit harder now. Y'all probably don't relax for a little bit. Now, this is what you getting paid for. So
and just today, Peachy, I spoke with the mayor assistants, and we're gonna be sitting down at the table with the mayor in the next couple of weeks. I support the mayor of South Bend, so if I support you, you need to hear my client's concerns, and that's meaning I want him move after we meet. Every homicide parent receive a phone call from him.
Exactly.
That's something I'm moving and gonna be very vocal about. And I don't ask too much for him, but I think that's would help parents to say, hey, I voted my mayor in, at least I receive a phone call and
absolutely
from the city.
Now, Danielle, what type of neighborhood was this? Because one thing that I realized was that the young lady said that they don't usually have things like this happen.
No, it's a very quiet neighborhood. My grandparents have lived here. It's kind of out of character for anything to happen in this neighborhood.
Okay.
So, they have those apartments that they have recently put up. I don't know how long ago, but, and then you have a lot of people coming down here from Chicago and other various cities. And, then you've got that's a whole nother issue. And, so there's really not much that goes on. It's everybody's, been in their house for years and years and years, and everybody knows each other and, goes about their daily routine and work and this and that. And
is this a mixed neighborhood with black and white, or is mainly white people?
It's mainly white, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no one has any idea at all who could have done this.
Nope. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, you got something to say about this? We want to hear what you got to say about this.
Well, I just really
Any questions or anything?
I just really feel for you, Danielle.
Why, thank you.
I have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old, and I know I would be devastated. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know, and I can reach out, Fernando, to the mayor as well, because I saw him today.
Yeah.
So, and whatever we can do to help you through this time, because that's something the government should do, is assist in your pain. And we need to also first be proactive and make sure the type of stuff doesn't happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Well, thank
BG
you.
says something, and
Yeah.
I keep reading it.
Me
But
too.
you too. But she says, everyone, please get life insurance. If these companies have to keep paying out, many crimes will be solved or stopped completely. Paul, what you think about that? Is she right?
Well, insurance companies are capitalistic, and so they want to make money. And if there is crimes like this that are happening, horrible crimes, horrific crimes, then they'll have to pay out more life insurance, and so then they'll start working with the government to then reduce the crime, because they don't want to have to give away their money.
Right. Right.
BG, hold on. That's for you, BG. That's for you, girl. Oh my goodness. I never looked at it like that.
I thought you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, just if these life insurance companies then could give gifts to the police department to make sure that they address all of these crimes as soon as possible, because that's the problem, like you were saying earlier, that they're having a hard time catching up.
Right.
With so much happening, which is a gosh darn shame.
And it's odd. It's not odd that you say that about the insurance companies and getting, and a policy taken out on your child, because I was just thinking that, not a few days ago, that it's out, and prior to all this, when he was younger, I did have policies. And then, I figured, well, he's older now and this and that. And it fell by the wayside, but I totally agree. You're absolutely right. And I think that, if more people did that, then, the higher ups would have to, because we all know they don't want to come out of their pockets as it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pulling teeth. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, and it's hard to find the main spot to, where to begin, I mean, you've got all these ideas and things that need to be changed and, this, that, and the other thing, but to get everything enacted and, a jump start on these things, it's, I mean.
I see, as far as doing PGT time, and while I'm reviewing clips and looking for commentary rather, I noticed that, and I'm still sticking on this whole life insurance thing, a lot of people don't have life insurance.
Right.
So the life insurance people really ain't paying out nothing, because more than half of these kids that's dying, the parents, I don't even want to say they couldn't afford the life insurance, because life insurance is so cheap. It can be so cheap. But so many people just don't have life insurance. Just like if you wouldn't get pulled over and get a ticket for car insurance, I bet you half these folks here in America wouldn't even have car insurance.
Yep. Absolutely.
They just got it because they don't want to get pulled over and get their car taken away from them.
Yep. I totally agree with that. I do. Yeah.
But I try my best to preach so much on PGT time about life insurance, Miss Danielle. It is so important. So important. But I didn't look at it like that, though. I did not look at it like that. So, Bernardo, anything you want to say on this?
just like what Paul was saying, that the government have to, speak up. Life insurance policies definitely. Probably I have 9 out of the cases we done. It's a handful who have life insurance. The police definitely is, man, I know hands on, and I can only speak for South Bend Police Department. I know they are back up, but our hopes with the South Bend Police have been met. And I do believe that it will be met with this family as well.
Exactly. That's why, I applaud you. Hold on. I applaud you so much, Bernardo, for what you're doing out here in these streets and how you're bringing the family members, you and Yumika, bringing the family members to Peachy Tea Time. Paul, this is something that I'm literally very passionate about. I'm very passionate about my brand, Peachy Tea Time, and the crime. And I am looking, Danielle, for advocates all over the United States, all the cities, so that they can bring family members onto Peachy Tea Time so that we could bring so much awareness.
Right.
If the criminals is out there seeing that once they're caught or before they even get caught, that people are playing this stuff back to back to back to back to back, they would think twice before they make a mistake or an ignorant choice that they're making. They would think twice. So many people is on social media now, on YouTube, young and old. Everybody's watching it. You don't know what's going to pop up on YouTube.
That's true. Absolutely true. I mean, you might as well utilize all these platforms as best as you can. Why not? I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. I tell people all the time that come on my show that if other people happen to reach out to you, all the parents that has lost a child, or the grandparents that has lost a grandchild, anybody reach out to you and say, hey, do you mind if we do this story? Would you like to come on the show? Go on there. Go on there. Because at the end of the day, somebody knows something.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Somebody knows something. And even if a person kills somebody and no cameras around at all, they look both ways, behind them, in front of them, and they didn't see nobody at all, and they shoot and kill somebody and they run off, still nobody done seen them, guess what? They still gonna tell somebody.
Yep.
So if you know something, say something.
Yes.
Somebody knows. And this is ridiculous. You shouldn't have to go through this. Just like the rest of the parents out there.
Yeah, nobody should. That's for sure.
So we're gonna go ahead and get into the second clip, and which is the last clip before we go into our tribute. And here we go.
For House Heat live in South Bend, where the latest deadly shooting just claimed a man's life overnight. She's live on Marshall Avenue near 33rd Street. Julianne?
Brian, Tiffany, another instance of gun violence happening right here behind me has people worried for the safety of the neighborhood. And Moms Demand Action Indiana hopes to see a change that prevents crime like this from happening so often.
Hear about gun violence all the time. It's not right in front of my house.
Taylor Jennings recalls walking out of her house on South Bend's east side Monday night after hearing some commotion outside. She looked to her left and saw what no one should have to see. A victim of gun violence, now identified as 28-year-old Curtis Shelby, lying on the sidewalk next door.
I could see someone lying there, no movement. I keep looking over there because it's... Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
No. Jennings and other neighbors worry that if the violence continues in the area, someone in their vulnerable neighborhood could become a victim.
The crime is on the rise, and again, with what happened last night, it doesn't feel very safe for them, and they're elderly. So
kids should be able to play safely without having to worry about someone coming down the street and shooting at someone.
Beyond Michiana, recent mass shootings across the country targeting seemingly innocent people are increasing. Moms Demand Action Indiana is speaking up about the spike and what needs to be done to curb crime and keep the community safe.
From Buffalo to Uvalde to even further back, we are living in a dystopian and violent culture that the gun lobby has created and that our lawmakers are enabling. The Senate needs to do their job. They need to stop looking away from the carnage that's happening in the country. And any lawmaker that does choose to side with the gun lobby is opting for carnage over American lives.
And when people are able to see the widespread rise of gun violence happen on their own street, that's when it really hits home.
Of course, the crime is on the rise, and I feel like everywhere with the gun violence, of course. But, you know, we've never been this close to a shooting before, and that's kind of scary. Yeah.
I've been living like this for a long time. I'm just gonna be honest. Paul and Danielle, I've been living like this for a long time. I remember several times going out, scared to tell my mom and daddy, because I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents had me and my brother before they got after they got married. So they did everything right. But they didn't have the funds. So we didn't live in bad neighborhoods, really, but they wasn't good neighborhoods. So I remember going to different clubs or different just gathering at halls, and they're shooting. But then it became so norm that I didn't even try to leave. I'm like, oh, they got them out? Okay, come on, y'all, let's keep partying. You know, it became normal. Now, Danielle, what I wanted to ask you, there's 2 questions.
Sure.
One thing you said that I want you to speak on is you said your son dealt with drugs, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing, and I want you to answer this one first.
Okay.
How does it feel as a mother, Curtis' mother? How does it feel right now, sitting here on Peachy Tea Time, Peachy News edition, with someone you don't even know, me, Yumika, Bernardo, Paul, talking about your son and seeing that clip? How do you feel right now as a mother?
As a mother, well, I think that it's providing me with, you know, with some hope. Obviously, you guys being we all got the same, you know, regardless of whatever, it boils down to the same principle and the same thing behind it. And all of us are realizing that this is an issue and it needs to be dealt with, it needs to be handled. And the fact that we're all on the same page and wanting things to change is, I think that's, you know, it doesn't get any better than that, you know, because it does, you know, something needs to be changed. And it's just not something, some things. And it's like, it's hard to pinpoint where does one begin or where do we, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, you see all these things in, you know, and exactly. you go in different neighborhoods and you know what, it's just, I don't know. It's these, I don't know. We could talk for hours.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're trying to say. You know? And there's another thing as well. Paul, a lot of people say, oh, they need to give these kids something to do. They need to put more things in these communities, build different recreations for these kids. Do I agree? Yes, I do agree. But guess what? If you put them in my communities, they're going to tear that shit right on up again. You have to put security. We need more police officers out there, not crooked ones, good police officers out there that can watch these neighborhoods. You know something going on Jackson Street every weekend. Every weekend, somebody getting killed over there on Jackson Street. Why is there not a police officer on hand at all times on Jackson Street? If they gonna be on Jackson Street at the park, and y'all know that they meet up there every Saturday, I don't care if they meet up there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Make sure patrol is out there at 3 o'clock every morning.
Well, what you have, Peachy, and I'm gonna let Paul go after this. And I'm speaking about South Bend Police, where we shut down 2 gas stations every Friday and Saturday night from midnight to 3 in the morning. And what we have here in South Bend is 11 officers work that shift. And you're talking about 60, 70 people at one gas station. And then those 11 officers have to protect the whole city. It's impossible. I remember one night we was out there, the police came to the gas station and asked us to go on Lincoln Way West because this was 75 people up there. And when we went up there, the police wasn't nowhere to be found. But we did what the asked. So I can't speak for every community, but I don't want the people here in South Bend to think that, at 2 o'clock in the morning when there's 200 people out here, know that it's only 11 officers out there. My fight, we was at a call and the police couldn't make it to a domestic because it was dealing with a homicide.
Homicide.
We have somebody else that want to come up. We got a visitor. So we're gonna go ahead. Hold on. Here it is. Y'all know I'm very specific about my show. We got a visitor. Now I don't know who this visitor is. I do not know. But the Uber was in the chat. Which is the link that anyone can come up if they have any questions, if they want to talk about anything. We also have the phone number just as well into PGT time. Let me put that back up for you. I see you down there, visitor. I see you down there. So let's go ahead and bring up our visitor, Miss Noor. I'm going to say Miss Noor because I can't pronounce your first name. So here you go, Miss Noor. Hi, Miss Noor.
Hi.
Yeah, you getting applaud. You know, don't too many people just pop up on PGT time. I just tell you that right now. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. What brings you to PGT time?
I am Amira's mom. I had a child with Curtis.
Okay. My condolences.
And I'm just listening in right now. I didn't really want to say much.
Okay.
Really.
Now, Miss Danielle, you do know Miss Noor, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. How old was your child? How old is your child? He's 5 years old.
She's 5.
She's 5. Okay. All right. And what's your fondest memory of Curtis?
We had a lot of memories. Give me a second, please.
Definitely. Miss Danielle, this hard for her from what
Yeah,
I see.
I know it is. I can understand that.
Exactly.
Mimi, I love Mimi. Her daughter is so comical and great. Oh my gosh. She's such a doll. She really, really is.
Oh. Now, how many kids did Curtis have?
He just had 2. Yep.
Just had the girl and the boy.
Yep.
All right. Do you have any more children?
Yes, I have a daughter that's older and a son that's younger.
Okay. Okay. And how are they feeling right now? How they're dealing with this?
Well, my son was probably closer because my daughter, she's way out in Arizona, so she didn't get to, spend as much time with Curtis, except for growing up. And then, but my son, my youngest son, Xavier, he and Curtis were really close. Yeah. They played, like I said, I had Curtis in sports, and I tried to keep Curtis busy. And I think that's a big part of, raising kids is to keep, because, when you're not busy, you have all that idle time, and idle time is not good time, I believe, for kids growing up, especially in today's world. So I made it a point to keep him busy as much as I possibly could, and thinking and hoping that, but, as you get older and things seem to change sometimes, and you try, all you can do is hope for the best and hope that you instilled enough knowledge and wisdom and understanding to,
Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't hear you mention anything about his father. Was his father in his life?
No.
How important do you think it is for a father to be in a child's life? Or do you feel like it's important?
Oh, absolutely. I think it doesn't just take one person to make a child. I think both parents need to be very involved in their child's life. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, you don't, just because you may not have a relationship with that person anymore doesn't mean that you can't co-parent your child and instill those values in your child.
Amen.
Exactly. Paul, what do you think? Why is there a lot of men not in their kids' life?
Well, at the school that I worked at, I'd say every single student was from a single parent family or even a zero parent family, meaning they live with their grandparents. And actually, one thing I would love to do to mandate, if possible, is a parenting class when they give birth to a child.
Yes.
And why? Because parenting is so important in the future of all of us. And so we need, and I say mandated because I think every single parent needs to learn and to understand it's a responsibility to help out the future, because a lot of my students, their parents were not there for them. They were too busy escaping. And I understand escapism too, because that's why there is a lot of pain and a lot of craziness that goes on out there, because they want to escape their woes.
Exactly.
One thing I've been asking a lot is, when I win this seat as Congress, how do I make people happy? How do we lift up happiness? Because why was this person that ended your son's life, which is horrible, why was he so angry?
Yeah.
What we do. And then one thing I'd really love to push is also mental health in America.
Yes.
You know what?
We really we just really need to lift up the importance of mental health, so things like this wouldn't happen. Because
right. I don't mean to cut you off. You know what? These are two areas that I think really would, in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, that's, I've lived there for so many years before recently moving down here for the past 3 years. And for people who, let's say they're, addicted to painkillers, opioids, whatever, they readily hand out Suboxone and stuff like that for free there, just to get them weaned off of those types of drugs. So when Curtis was having some issues when we moved down here with that, I would call places to see if that was an option. And it's like tooth and nail to get anybody that's trying to seek help into any kind of rehab facility without having to pay ridiculous, prices. And it seems like that's, if there was more, just some more, that just needs to be revamped. I don't know. There's got to be some way to get these people some help that's not, they don't have to be on a full-fledged insurance plan and this and that. And, I don't know. It's just, it's a crazy thing. Because it's just going to get worse before it gets better. You can already see that. They've got, I watch these shows on TV and, it's just getting crazy.
I agree. It's getting worse.
I agree with completely, Danielle, and actually that's one reason why I'm running on healthcare for everyone. So
yeah.
If you can't afford it, you got to still be able to access it. And that means not just a doctor's office or a dentist, but it also means clinics that will help with your addictions.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a big key.
And psychiatrists that will help with your mental woes.
Yep.
You need to think about this.
For sure.
I'm telling you, when this pandemic started and they started giving out PPP loans, they start giving out these pandemic checks and everything. That's when I knew. Yeah, if y'all got money to do this, y'all got money to do a lot of stuff.
Yep.
For us, to help us.
Yes.
You got to have the money, and the resources. You have to.
Right.
All these abandoned houses.
Yeah.
Across the United States, it's so many abandoned houses.
Yeah.
And you just gonna leave them there so that these people can take these sex trafficking people there. Yeah. People can take other women there and young girls there to do whatever they want to do recklessly with them.
Or turn them into drug dens or whatever else, Right.
Yeah. Hold on, Danielle.
Okay.
Just in case y'all don't know what drug dens is, okay? Trap houses. Trap houses. That's what she's talking about. Trap houses.
I know. I was going to say that, but I was.
I just want to make sure they understood. On Peach Tea Time. She's talking about trap houses.
I was going to go that route, but
It's okay. We keep it 100 on Peach Tea Time. We sure do. That's what she's talking about.
My question to Paul is, you seen Danielle STEURY tonight. You see when you turn on the news, you say you just spoke with the mayor, and I respect the mayor. He know who I am when you do bring up this conversation. He know me directly. What is your thought? Because every mother, not just Danielle, get no help from the people who get the money. My organization don't get a penny. Our money come out our own pockets. What if you went in office, or just your relationship to the mayor? What would your conversation be? What is your thoughts? You hear Danielle, and she's not the only mother who don't get a phone call, night from the mayor, night from the councilman. Man, really, you are probably the only person in leadership that have even been on Peachy Tea Time. And when I ask you, and Peachy would tell you, I say, we are going to endorse him. Because I asked you, it was no hesitation. So I believe how you come on to somebody, how you going to live that relationship. So I just hope that you hear what's going on. And next week, I have a family watching us, The Real Cream. She just lost her brother in Bent Harbor on Sunday. And we will be down there this Sunday doing a balloon release. We have her brother, loved one, body at our partnership funeral home. So we working with that family. Again, no suspects in that homicide. What's your thoughts? What will you do for these families?
I was at the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration this past March. You know, they postponed it, and so I was there.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry. But Paul to start off with Martin Luther King. I was at the Martin Luther King march. Okay, I'm so sorry, Paul. Go ahead. I'm
So
sorry.
I went to the celebration, and there was a group of people that were talking about working with youth and youth that have difficulties. And I went up to them afterwards and said, well, what can this congressperson do to help your not-for-profits? And they said, funding, money. And I said, okay, then that's my job, is as your representative, is to find funding for all not-for-profits. And yes, it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's all about, you know, people, government is greedy. And so we have to work together. And that's one thing I really want to do as a representative, is to be that person that is bipartisan, that can work across the aisle and make a difference for the people. And we have to lift up all these great institutions like yourself, like Justice for Michiana. We have to help funding for you to survive, because you're doing such great work that will benefit from the world.
Definitely. Now, don't forget me too, Paul.
That's right.
Yeah, don't forget me, Paul. I need funding too. I need funding too.
I think what we just need to do is raise up our communities. And so, because our communities, we all love, or at least appreciate where we live, and we want to make it better. And if we can make it better through many different ways, let's strive for that. My parents taught me the golden rule. And so, do unto others you want them to do unto you.
You would like them to do unto you.
And also, just for me, it's also one of my favorite sayings is WWJD. What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
Mm-hmm.
And what I would ask Danielle to say to Paul is how we got involved with you before that, and what's your thought of the city officials not contacting you or whatever? What would just give Paul your story about working with us?
Well, I'll tell you, never having to experience or go through anything like this. And then, you know, God sent a couple of angels to my door, and they've worked with me through every step. They've been more than helpful. I mean, I've never had to go through this personally. I mean, besides, you know, family members or something like that, but nothing this up close and personal. So they've been wonderful. They've been fantastic. And I couldn't ask for a better organization or, you know, anybody to have assisted me in this process.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yes, absolutely. You've been wonderful.
That's so sweet.
So when you go and, you know, you go back, talk to the mayor and different leadership of this community, as well as, you know, we claiming that you're going to win, even, you know, the president, you can go and tell them your story, because now this becomes your story.
Exactly.
Well, this is my take on, and I may get flack for this, but, you know, to me, politicians and politics, I mean, there's a lot of good people trying to do a lot of good things for the people and positive things and make changes. But then you also have, just like anything else, the flip side that, yeah, and yada, yada, yada. And it's, you know, so, I mean, it's like a catch-22, you know, you hope you find the one that's going to actually physically really want to change something and really want to make a difference
Exactly.
and stick with it versus just selling you a dream and saying whatever it comes out of their mouth just because it sounds good. So
exactly.
It's a fine line.
Exactly. Now, then I must say this. Every time we do Peachy News, I always make the whole show about the parent or whoever brings the what we're doing the show about.
Right.
But I must, if it's okay with you,
okay,
I must say just a little bit while Paul is on here about this next comment, this person that's putting this comment up here. I must just tell y'all just a little bit about her. She will be on Peachy Talks. Each one of my shows has a different name, Paul. And on Friday, I'm on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and Saturdays. And on Fridays, it's called Peachy Talks with me and my husband. And we do love and relationships, but we also bring crime in because Peachy Tea Time is about crime. This young lady right here that will be on Friday, I'm happy she's here tonight. I just happened to go on my Facebook page last night after I did a little quick show, very quick, 30 minute show. And I decided to just scroll on Facebook and see what I could find. And this young lady, her post was up. I mean, not her post, she was doing a live. And it was real dark. So that's the first thing that caught my attention. And I said, let me click on here to see what's going on. And when I clicked, she was literally outside of her home and talking to the police officers. One officer. And then as I continue to listen, I hear her neighbors screaming and yelling, "Be this, be that. I beat your A." I mean, just going off. And I'm like, what's going on? This looks like something I need to be seeing. And she started talking about the environment that she was in. And the first thing I asked her was, by just commenting, "You in the projects?" And she said yes. She's in the projects. She lives in the projects. But she kept saying HUD homes. So that's what was throwing me off. But then as I put two and two together, I'm like, okay, coming from my mentality where I came up from and everything, what I seen, I'm like, okay, so she in the projects in these houses that just look good, but we gonna put all the black folks over here in this community. But we're not putting the successful black folks in this community. We putting the ones that ain't really got nothing going on in this community. And when you put them in this community, it's gonna bring the community down even more because nobody's doing anything. No one has jobs. So you question why everybody ain't got no job over here. Because the state decided that we're gonna give these people a place to stay that ain't got no job, that just can't make it or whatnot. We're gonna put them over here. We ain't gonna do no background checks like that. We ain't gonna check out nothing what they got going on. We just gonna put them in this community. And as I'm listening to this lady while she's talking to this officer, sounding very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. Where these other girls next door to her sounding very, very ratchet. Then ratchet. These folks ain't got nothing going on for themselves.
I know about ratchet.
Paul, just in case you ain't know, they ain't got nothing going on for themselves. They just there. They just living. They got kids.
Yeah.
They collecting the state benefits for the kids, and we're just living over here. Whatever happens. They don't care.
But the courtesy of the taxpayers,
Exactly. Courtesy of the taxpayers. Courtesy of me.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And she's talking to this police officer, and I hear her say, "And they got a gun." She got it right over there in her waist. And at the same time, these girls over here talking about, I I'll kick your I'll do this, I'll do that, even though it's explicit language, but certain things I just gotta say it like this. You know, they were just totally out of line. No respect for the police officer. I don't care for the police officers, but you still gotta give respect where respect is due.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if I'm disrespecting a police officer, I'm going to think that I'm going to be at least put in the police car
Right.
until I calm down. This officer did nothing and sat there on live knowing he was recorded and sat there and told her there's nothing we can do. Okay, so when is there something you can do? Once she's dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Once she's bringing the ambulances to come wheel her on up out of there? And on top of all of this, she has an autistic son. Her only child. What do you say to stuff like that? And she has called every type of housing authority to help move her from out of this environment. I'm not in this type of environment. I go to work every day. Before PGT time was even thought of, I was working.
Yes.
Still working. But you have other people, and I told her, and she will tell you, and we're going to talk about this more on Friday, but I told her, when I saw that clip, I thought she was just like the rest of them. But when I talked to her on the phone today, she literally had nowhere else to go. And we're going to talk about why on Friday. But she had nowhere else to go that landed her where she's at right now. She can't even go out and get a gun to protect her and her child because she's in the housing authority in the project. And if she get a gun and she get caught with it, she get put out.
Yeah.
Yep.
She ain't paying no rent. She ain't paying nothing. And trust and believe, Yumika, me and her had a long talk today. I'm not going to sit here and condone it when I know I can go out there and do what I'm supposed to do with 2 kids. Me and her had a long talk today. But at the end of the day, she still found herself in this position. She can't get them to move her to another wing or to another building or to a whole nother community. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
There are some good people in the projects. Everybody's not bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that was God that just told me to say that, Paul. I don't know. But seriously, though, what can she do at this point?
That's a great question. Does she have a social worker? Does she have a case manager? Is there a not-for-profit that she can go to talk to?
They ain't calling back.
What's that?
They're not calling back.
Oh.
They just have their voice messages on collecting their checks.
Yeah.
And not calling back.
No, but can she go to La Casa Amistad or something like that? Can she go to an agency that will benefit her and her thoughts? One thing I was thinking about was something called the Worry Bowl. I'm not sure if you ever heard of this, but it's just actually your life is a big bowl full of different worries, which includes rent, debt, sadness, and grief, where you're going to get your next food, et cetera, et cetera. So government is supposed to actually help remove those worries, so then you can add other things to your bowl that you can worry about and help yourself improve. And so how do I do that? And how do we help that woman that you're just talking about, Peachy? That's a good question. And one thing I want to admit, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, and I know there's actually some politicians who believe that they know everything. And so my job is to reach out to other organizations and other people to find answers.
You know what? I got a good solution for that problem. let's have let's have all those politicians that are, proclaim that they're helping out and this and that. Let's let them stay in the jets for a while and see what the turnout comes out with that. Let's see how that works out for them.
And you know what? If we put them in there, Danielle, let me tell you, this is what they'll do. They'll be gone. Quick, fast, and hard. And they got somewhere to go to.
Well, yeah.
You know? Now, Gretchen says these HUD homes should come with requirements of job training, parent counseling, mental health therapy, etc. I wouldn't mind my tax dollars going to positive improvements.
Right.
Yes, that's good stuff.
It is. Yep. I agree.
Chrissy said, I've tried, which is the young lady that we was just talking about. She said, I've tried La Casa. La Casa told me, no, I don't qualify for any of their apartments.
Chrissy, what state do you live in?
Chrissy, what state do you live in? Chrissy stays where y'all at? She in South Bend.
Chrissy, call me 574-400-5856.
And I do have Chrissy's information, and I was definitely gonna reach out to you because she just contacted me today. So I was gonna reach out to you and let you know so that you can see if you guys can help her in some type of way.
Absolutely.
Chrissy, like I told her, I don't think Chrissy's afraid of these people.
Man.
Chrissy said that the people on the left side of her, the people on the right side of her, and the people in front of her, all three of them is against her. They all get together while she's outside and just call her all type of names, go through all type, just bullying type. But Chrissy's not afraid of them. Chrissy is afraid of herself, of what she would do to them. And she got this autistic son that she don't even really trust with other people. So she know that she can't get herself in those situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Yumika, when you hear her story, sad situation. Mama Peach, hey Mama Peach done sent the grandkids back today. She done sent the grandkids back today. They doing good back there, Mama. She said she should be able to go in person to see her caseworker. Mama Peach, when I talked to her today, I did tell her to give me some phone numbers. I am going to reach out as well to see what I can do on my end. But from what I've heard from her, she has did a lot. Wow. A lot for no one to have done nothing. She called the police all the time, every day.
And that's a problem, Peachy. And I just myself was talking to the chief of police in an email. If a person like her is calling the police out, make sure, Yumika, we do I want that body camera of that officer. Because if an officer comes to my house and my neighbor's cursing Sean out, somebody going to jail.
I gotta record it. So you ain't even got to where she recorded. I recorded on top of her recording. So we got everything.
It's mandatory for an officer, because I love to go on their evidence to have their body camera on. And one thing I'm gonna say about the police here, the chief, recently he asked that an officer be fired because misconduct, and the Board of Safety refused to fire this officer. And here goes a recommendation from the chief. So now the public, like, oh, the chief ain't doing his job. It's not him. We have to hold the Board of Safety accountable.
Is he right, Paul?
Hold the board accountable?
Safety. The
Yes.
police cannot fire nobody. The chief can make a recommendation.
Yes, of course.
Now, Paul, why do you think all this crime has just, to me, now it's already been going on as far as that I know, it's been going on, but it seemed like it has gotten worse since the pandemic. Why do you feel like it's happening now? Like the crime is just skyrocketed. Why?
It's psychological. So it's a lot about the way you're feeling about yourself. And if you're penned up and you're wanting to get out, it's a violence is an expression, and it's a horrible one because it damages other people's lives. But it is the way that they have learned to express themselves, probably from their parents or from their environment that surrounds them. And so COVID just really cramped people up inside, and they're exploding now to get outside, basically. And I don't like the expression that they're doing, but what other ways can we help them to not express themselves through guns, but through other means? And so what is that? And so we have to ask those questions constantly.
I think
my wife right now is going after a master's.
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, my wife is getting a master's of social work at IUSB, and I really hated the term defund the police. I understand what that meant, but what I wish they would have said instead of the police, I wish they would have said increase social workers, increase therapists. And that's basically what they're saying. Yeah. They want people to receive goods from their government that will benefit their social well-being and their mental well-being.
Can I chime in just for a second?
You sure can. Yes.
See, I've got a question, and this to me is kind of pertinent in Curtis's case. I mean, even though he worked building sunrooms, he did roofing, he did all these things. It seems to me when a lot of these young people have gotten themselves in a jam at some point in time, and maybe they have a felony on their record, even though it's not a nonviolent felony, it seems like they're already, because now they're trying to find jobs, and the jobs are requiring background checks, and that felony pops up, and it may not be a crime against a person, but just, whatever the case may be, it's a nonviolent offense. Now they're not getting those jobs. And I think, before it was like 10 years you had to have no felonies on your records in order to get certain various jobs. Now I think Indiana decreased it to 7. But I think, I don't know, something needs to be, because, anymore, I mean, you can go shoplifting if it's over a certain amount, that's a felony. And I just think something needs to be tweaked along those lines as far as, because a lot of kids, these young people that may have made some bad decisions at some point in their time in their life, aren't able to go get a decent paying job to alleviate some of the issues that they're facing with as far as, the activities that we're seeing out on the streets. I mean, I don't know. It's just food for thought, but that's what, I think, my gosh, you've already paid the price if you've gone to jail and you've done this and that. You're supposed to, that's wiped out. Now you got to be held accountable for another 7 or 10 or whatever many years. I mean, I think that's just, if it's, I don't know. I think something needs to be looked at there a little bit and tweaked.
I agree with you 100%. They did their time. They did what they were supposed to do. They done got out, and you still won't let them get a job so that they can take care of themselves. Some people can't even get an apartment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So what they got to do? Go live with auntie. Go live with uncle. Go live with cousin. And guess what? Uncle, auntie, and cousin gonna get tired of you.
Yep.
And you got to go.
Yep. Or
So
then
now
they got to go
going back to the streets.
Yep, go robbing people because it's like a vicious cycle. It's a friggin' cycle.
Well, just like we hungry, they be hungry too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this tribute right quick. It's a short tribute, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it, and then we're gonna go ahead and give our final thoughts on this show tonight. And here go the tribute. I hope you like it, Miss Danielle. Here we go.
All right, thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I will make sure I send it to Bernardo so that he can send it to you just as well. So
Perfect.
that you can keep it. To everyone that's watching that always watches my show, they're probably wondering, like, wait a minute, where the song go? Usually I play certain songs that go along on top of the tribute. But being that I stream on YouTube, there's a lot of things that they don't allow. So I want to make sure that when I make these tributes, I want them to be heard. So that's why I had it with, the Peachy Tea Time song. But Miss Danielle, when I tell you my heart goes out to you.
Yes.
You are very, very strong.
Thank you.
My friend, who I also call my sister, Paul, make sure you listen to this right here. My friend, who I also call my sister, she has lost 2 children, a boy and a girl. She lost her son first, and I talk about her a lot. She lost her son first, and he was at the age of 12.
Wow.
Over to his grandparents' house, sitting in a rocking chair, reclining chair that is, and listening to Michael Jackson music, about to go to sleep, and someone did a drive-by and shot up the house, and he was murdered. Then 9 years later, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Tiffany. But 9 years later, let me go back. A year later, her niece get killed, murdered. And I'm talking about in Saginaw, Michigan. Her niece get murdered at a prom site where everybody get together and take pictures of everyone before the kids go to their actual prom. And it was not her prom. She was just there to take pictures and everything. She gets shot and killed. Justice has not been served. Justice was served for her. My friend / sister, justice was not served for her son. So a year later, that happened to the niece. Then 9 years later, her oldest daughter, 26 years old, and she is at a block party. They do a drive-by shooting. Her and another man got killed. Justice still has not been served. And that happened in 2021. Recently.
And here in South Bend, where was this located?
Say that, I can't hear you.
Was it in South Bend that happened? Or
No,
was
that happened in Saginaw, Michigan.
Oh, Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah. Justice of Michigan and Indiana. Yeah, that happened in Saginaw, Michigan. But justice wasn't served. She buried 2 kids.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And no one has been able to catch the killers.
Right.
Oh, horrible.
She's not getting any phone calls. No one's reaching out to her. No one. She literally had to pay. Now, this right here, this is crazy. She had to pay out of her pocket for security for the wake and for the funeral. To make sure don't nobody come and shoot up the funeral. Make sure that police is there to scare off the people that want to come and shoot it up. She had to pay out of pocket. Kids, the first son didn't have insurance. So not only do you got to pay for insurance, come up with that money to have this funeral, but now she got to pay for security to make sure that everybody that's there is safe. But guess what? Nobody made sure her baby was safe. But she got to pay security to make sure everybody is safe to see her child get buried. If y'all don't see nothing wrong with that baby, I don't know what to say.
That's horrible.
That should have been free.
Yeah.
Free on the state.
Yeah.
Anthony said that's going on in Flint, Michigan, too.
Yes,
Going on nationwide.
Yes, and I am from Saginaw, Michigan. I'm in Atlanta right now, but I am a Michigander, born and raised. Danielle, I don't know if you're aware of this. Yumika, I don't even know if you're aware of this, but I'm from Dowagiac, Michigan.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all familiar with that. Paul?
Right down the street.
Right down the street. But I made it to Atlanta. I have a lot of family and friends in Michigan. A lot of family in Flint. It's going on everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you're in these big cities, you can get away from it.
Right.
You're not seeing it right there in front of you.
Yep. Yep.
But in Saginaw, in South Bend, in Flint, no matter where it happened at, it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Something got to be done. Something has to be done. At least said my sister from Saginaw too. Hey, sister. But yes, so I really, really appreciate each and every one of you for coming on tonight. I always make sure that each person get the opportunity to give their last thoughts on Peachy Tea Time. And I'm going to give each and every one of you that opportunity. But Paul, I really do hope that this is not my last time hearing from you or having you on my platform just as well. You know, I really, really, I need the help to continue to bring these stories out just as well. Justice for Michiana need the help to keep bringing these stories out. Because that's what needs to happen. These stories need to be out, put out. If they want to play around on social media and think social media ain't nothing, oh, it's a joke. Okay, let us get it. Let us get social media. Let us take over social media. And we'll see how many of them get locked up and get taken off these streets.
Right.
So we're going to start with Yumika. So I'm going to pull everybody down. Yumika's going to say what she has to say, her last thoughts on this story tonight. And then each person will get a chance. And then after that,
tell them don't leave.
Yes, please don't leave. Please don't leave. Each and every person has something that they have to say that needs to be heard. Okay? It definitely needs to be heard. So I'm going to let everyone say what they have to say. Like I said, I'm going to leave Yumika up here. Yumika, please, please, please tell everyone your last final words for tonight.
My final words tonight would actually be to America in a whole, not just my community. I watched how we all rallied together when there were police shootings, killing Black people. And as sad as it is, I'm not moved by it because I would like to see my people rally like that when my neighbor's child was shot, or when the woman around the corner lose her child to gun violence. Why do we have to get angry if a white officer kill our people? Why are we not in the same anger when we're killing our people? That's what I would like to see change. If we rally together like that, we may see change. So those are my last thoughts.
Yumika, you said a lot. That was a lot. It ain't take a long time for you to say it, but you said a lot. And I appreciate it, girl. I appreciate it. That the things that you said really are what need to be heard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I still have not been able to gather. Like, why are we get so upset when these white officers, not white people, white officers, we ready to rally and everything. Yeah. But when Black folks kill Black folks,
it's okay.
It's okay. And no. We're not gonna say it's okay. That's how they act, but we're not gonna say it's okay.
Pretend that we don't see what's happening.
Exactly. We need to go rally. We need to go stand on corners and everything when anybody get killed.
Absolutely. All lives matter.
Yep, all lives matter. So, Yumika, thank you so much. Please do not go log off.
Okay.
I'm going to end the broadcast, but I still want you to stay up, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Yes, y'all. We thank Yumika. Yumika, she said some real shit, for real. All jokes aside. So we're going to bring up Venado. Hey, Venado.
Man,
what
you know,
got to say for these last words?
Down time, right?
What'd you say?
I said, you know, tonight I didn't even supposed to be up here. But
no, you was not supposed to be up here. But I'm thankful that you are up here. I really am.
My guy Jason. But I think Yumika said something important. As you know, I was with Black Lives Matter and left Black Lives Matter because there was doing things in other states while our own community people was getting killed and wasn't getting no justice. And one thing, we deal with the police, good or bad, and sometimes me, the police don't see eye to eye. But we do try to build that relationship with the community. Not every police officer, Ronaldo Malone, or my staff trust, but there are some that we know have that good heart for the community. Talking about Black killing Blacks. Just today, I was speaking to a white guy who do all our business cards, and he asked me to do something, and I'm gonna file that report and get their numbers. But going through our file just this year, how many white people have killed a Black person in the Black community? 0. How many Black people that killed each other? The numbers are up there. How many white person had done a homicide to another white person? I see 0. So those numbers is unbelievable. Again, I cannot find just this year alone where in our community that a white person had killed a Black person. I can't find that here in South in my records, but I can find dozens of Black people killing our own Black people, and it's getting worse day by day. we not just here in South Bend. Shout out to the Ben Harbor family who's grieving their loved ones, but they are on here listening to their another mother story. So big shout out to Marcus family and friends who's on here from Ben Harbor watching as well.
All right. Well, I thank you, Bernardo. I really do.
And we thank you, Peachy, because I say this all the time, and people need to realize I have a lady who tells me all the time, I do not watch the news, Bernardo. I'm coming to your page because we're going to get the whole story. The whole story. And that's what people get. My family don't get to tell their story in their local community on their news station, but they can tell the whole story on PGT time. And not one family I brought on people have regretted coming on. Families be nervous, but at the end of the day, to tell me, oh, that's what's easy. So thank you for what you do. You don't live here in this community. You haven't been South Bend. I don't think
I've been there. I've been there.
But not just
I was a little girl. I was a little girl.
Little girl. But and I think how we met was, nothing but God worked.
Nothing but God.
You open up the doors where local officials don't talk to the family or listen to, and you do. So we thank you and Jason, who's not here, but definitely I know he will watch this. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Thank you so much, Bernardo. I love you to death.
I know.
And he's right. It was nothing but God. How we met. Like, he literally, I put the link in the chat and he popped up. And I tell everybody this story. When he popped up with Miss Vita. And that particular show, I had no idea he was coming on. I had no idea Miss Vita was coming on. I was tired that day, and I said, I am about to do just some of anything. And I decided to cover celebrity gossip. Celebrity gossip. Out of all the days, I decided I'm going to do some ratchet shit and do some celebrity gossip that nobody even knew about. And when I played it, I'll never forget. I asked Miss Vita, and Bernardo, you can vouch because you was up there.
Yes.
I asked Miss Vita a question after the first clip. And Miss Vita said, I don't watch stuff like this. I don't even put stuff like this in my spirit. I don't do stuff like this. And when I just said I could have crawled under a rock, I felt so bad. And I told them, I said, please come on the next show. Please come and watch the next show. And you will see what PGT time is about. And Bernardo, you have been watching every show that I have done. Ever since then, ever since that day, I have not done a full show of celebrity gossip with all that ratchet stuff on there. It's enough of that. It's enough of that. I'm bringing stuff to the platform that people need to see. And I thank God and I thank Bernardo. I don't care what they say about you. I thank God and I thank you and Miss Vita for showing me that I can just do peachy news in our community and still succeed. And I thank you. I thank you so much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Like I said,
I was embarrassed. Oh, Lord, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
And Peachy got what I get from Miss Vita. She's my advisory. And when she calls me and she say, Bernardo, I'll be like, what have I done? Because I know he's about to get me right. But she's my advisory. And what she told Peachy would be something she would tell me. That ain't something you want on your page or whatever. or that's not how you should move. So Peachy got the day one.
Day one.
Day one.
Baby.
And Miss Vita loves Peachy.
She does. And I love her. I love you, Miss Vita.
Right.
But
So
Bernardo, thank you so
again
much.
for, every family we work on, not just families from South Bend. Monica, mother, where we're gonna be doing a recap of that, and just every family we deal with. Next week we going to Ben Harbor, y'all. We're going to Ben Harbor next.
Ben Harbor, I know about Ben Harbor too.
All right, so
I know about
thank
Ben
you,
Harbor.
thank you, and to Paul, thank you for just stepping up to the plate that everybody don't do. Everybody don't do. I want to get the mayor on here one day with me.
Yes.
That's my next goal. And I tell the mayor, police, we're not here to flag because we standing in the gap.
There you go.
So we just want to be the best we can be. We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to get there. So, and
that's all we ask.
Man, thank you. Get me off. Get me off. Take me down.
I am. Now, if you could reach out to Miss Danielle right quick, because I did want to bring her up last. So if you can see if we could get her back, that'd be awesome. Okay. So now we're gonna bring up Paul, baby. Paul STEURY. Paul, let me know if I said it right when you come up, okay? Hopefully I said that last name right, because I'm big on names. I am so big on names, okay? So we finna bring up Paul, y'all. Here we go. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I laugh, I kiki, but at the same time, I was brought up in a very, very spiritual manner. And you are like the biggest high profile that I have had here on Peachy Tea Time. So when I tell you I'm so thankful right now, so thankful. And it ain't got nothing. I'm not one of the people that's here for clicks and views. That's not me. You being here tonight shows me that I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can climb a little bit higher and God can make things happen for me. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. It really means a lot. It really does. Please tell us your final thoughts here on Peachy Tea Time.
Well, Peachy, I am honored just to be on your show because you're a fantastic woman that is promoting things that we really need to talk about. And so thank you so much. And thank you, Bernardo, for touching base with me. I think that was a God thing too, for us to be able to meet with each other and click. And you invited me to be part of this show. But the main thing I'm really want to say thank you to is Danielle for being on tonight. And it's a heavy time. It's what can this representative do to help you? And because I want to make sure that you feel your needs are met. And then we just have to remember that every city is going through these things. So how do we meet the needs of all people who have loss? Because it's important to grieve. It's important to continue on. And so as a representative, I want to make sure Danielle and all other mothers and fathers that go through this really need support and lifting up and love. And strange for a government person to say that, but that's one thing that's really, really really important in our lives is we need our connections. We need our people to surround us, and we need to feel safe and secure. So thank you, Danielle. I appreciate you greatly, and let me know what I can do. Let's go out for a coffee sometime soon.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I do hope and pray, more than anything at all, I hope and pray that you definitely win. But I hope and pray that if you win, you take the things that we said into consideration.
Oh, amen. I sure will.
Yes. Take it into consideration. Understand and know that these are things that we hold dearly to us. We want to be able to live comfortable in our community. We want to be able to let our kids go outside and play. I remember growing up where I was able to go and walk around the block, ride our bikes around the block and everything. I wouldn't dare let my kids go right now. And so I really, 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 really hope and pray that you take into consideration what we're saying. And once you win, because I'm big on speaking things to existence. So once you win, I just hope you don't forget about us and just take it. No matter what it is that you do, just make sure that you take our things that we said tonight into consideration and move it on to where it needs to go. And hopefully something can be brought out of this. Because all we want to do is just live right. All we want to do is be protected and feel safe. And not only for us, but for our children. And that's all I got to say. I think I said that good.
Well, my 3 core values for my campaign is security, community, and responsibility. And we talked about those 3 different things tonight, all night long.
We definitely did. Definitely.
So this congressperson will make sure that this district will feel secure, that people will be held accountable and responsible, and make sure it feels secure.
All right. Now, Paul, once again, I do hope you'll be able to come back.
Oh, I want to.
Please do. And do a full interview with us. I would really appreciate it. I also ask that you continue to watch my shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And also on Saturdays in studio at Hits 92.3, which is internet radio, but it's still visual. And I'm on from 2 to 4. So I really hope that you're able to watch. Like I said, I deal with crime. And hey, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is. Well, thank you so much for joining. Please stay on. I'm about to end the broadcast. But please stay on just so that, we can talk just a little bit briefly. Because I know we all got to go to bed. I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work. So, yes. That's how dedicated I am. I love and I'm passionate about what I do.
That's great.
And I come on here, I do this, and I still have to turn around and be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I work in the medical field. So I still have to work. Still got 2 kids to take care of. I still got a husband, but he doing his thing just as well. So, but life still goes on. Yeah. No matter what, life still goes on. So, y'all, we about to go. Well, thank you all so much for joining Peachy Tea Time tonight. Thank you to each and every person that was here tonight. And most importantly, thank you to Miss Danielle for trusting me with her story about her son that was murdered in South Bend, Indiana. Y'all, we got to do something. We got to stop this from going on. Okay? So we out of here. You know what you got to do? You got to listen to my baby. You got to listen to him. Here she go. Here go Kirsten. Then here come both of them. Here we go.
Peachy time.